Welcome back to the channel. It is your boy Chef D, and I'm here to give you the winning ingredients for your fantasy football drafts coming up in the fantasy football and NFL season, with the bets coming up very, very soon in September. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Twitter at MessageJetsD as well. We are going to talk about the AFC South. It is the preview of this very exciting, young, youthful division that we got going on with the AFC South. We're going to start off with the bad, just like when anyone's trying to ask you, you want bad news or good news first, give me the bad news first, all right? Get that out the way, because I want to be happy at the end. Like, why would you? No, give me the bad news first. So we're going to start off with the bad team, the worst team in the league, and that is the Houston Texans. We got going on over here. We have scandal, we have controversy, and everything dealing with Deshaun Watson, the owner, and his religion beliefs. All this commotion, everything not to do with football is going on with the Houston Texans. So right now, as we know it, Deshaun Watson is at practice but not practicing. He's with the team, but they want to trade him and find offers. It's a whole bunch of wishy-washy stuff. We do not know. We have no clear outlook. So, in comes Tyrod Taylor. Tyrod Taylor last year was in a situation where he was the starter, and Justin Herbert was behind him. Justin Herbert overtook Tyrod Taylor very, very quickly, just like when Tyrod Taylor was with the Browns. Baker Mayfield overtook him. This is a situation where Tyrod Taylor can actually stay put unless Deshaun Watson comes back or they make some sort of a trade. But as of right now, we think that Tyrod Taylor is the quarterback for the Houston Texans. And you can compare him to a Teddy Bridgewater game manager, can move around a little bit, make correct decisions, but not game-winning decisions. Don't expect, a bunch of things coming from Tyrod Taylor, but there is some fantasy bright spots on the Houston Texans. All right, we're going to talk about that right now. So you're looking at this roster. They have one bright spot from last year, and that was Brandon Cooks. If we're just looking at his target share last year, and red zone targets, he was 9 of 14. Had 3 TDs, had a 15% target share in the red zone. That is solid, and that's what you want to look for round 6, round 7 wide receiver that you're looking. Brandon Cooks going at wide receiver 39 currently, and just the overall outlook with Deshaun Watson from last year. Obviously, this is with a better quarterback. Cooks had 120 targets, 83 completions, 7 TDs, very good, with a 23% target share, okay? Him and Fuller were 1 and 2. Fuller obviously got injured, and then Cooks stepped up for the rest of the season, and he was a very consistent slot guy for the Houston Texans. During this offseason, the Texans were able to get Nico Collins, the rookie wide receiver from Michigan. This is a big body wide receiver to complement Cooks, 6'4" with 4.5 speed. So that's a positive after losing Will Fuller, after trading Randall Cobb as well. They have a nice little 1-2 tandem. We'll see what Nico Collins can become. Hopefully they get some better quarterback play very soon. They find a suitor for Deshaun Watson, and we can probably see a more positive light with these wide receivers for the Houston Texans. Next is going to be the running back by committee that they got for the Texans. And you're looking at the running back position down here. Obviously, you see Tyrod Taylor, but at the running back position, you got Mark Ingram, David Johnson, Phillip Lindsay, and Rex Burkhead. They have 4 veterans in a very crowded running back backfield. What was the key point in week 1 in preseason? Mark Ingram did not dress, so there's talk about him probably being cut, which is understandable. And David Johnson being the designated third down back and just coming in for passing work. If you're just looking at the play-by-play, Phillip Lindsay was the guy on first and second down, so that's a bump to him. Obviously, you want him to have some more passing down work, which he really can't catch. But that's why they have David Johnson there. He's going to be the third down guy. I was hoping he creeps in, at least split some of the first and second down work. But just from watching that week 1 preseason tape, obviously we're going to see week 2. Maybe we get more indicator there. But as of right now, it's a running back by committee with Lindsey on the first and second downs. And then third down is going to be David Johnson. So Rex Burkhead wasn't much of a factor. He didn't play as well. So right now, Lindsey and David Johnson. All right. Let's move over to the next team. Let's get rid of that bad team. Let's go to a team that has little brighter prospects, and that's going to be the Indianapolis Colts. At the beginning, a couple weeks ago, there was, uproar about that there had to be surgery for Carson Wentz. This trade that they did was absolute, it was horrible. How didn't they know this? And then Quentin Nelson goes down, so then that took a hit to Jonathan Taylor because that's the number 1 guard in the league. And now there is some positive news right here. Just Chris Mortensen talking about it. Carson Wentz trending to open the season as the starter with All-Pro guard Quentin Nelson on the same path after foot surgery. So that is going to be a great note for week 1, great note for, Colts fantasy players. And you're getting them at a little bit of a cheaper price as well. Because of the injury news, it took a hit to Wentz. It took a hit to Jonathan Taylor. It took a hit to Michael Pittman as well. All right. Now, another positive note just to think about Carson Wentz. He's back with Frank Reich, who he was with him in Philadelphia. And this is when he had his best season with the Philadelphia Eagles under Frank Reich. He had 3,296 yards. He had 33 touchdowns and only 7 interceptions. Absolutely phenomenal. Had a little bit of rushing upside, but no TDs. But Carson Wentz is married back to Frank Reich. I expect a bounce back year for him. They have everything around him in Indianapolis. I can't even say it. It's crazy. Indianapolis. Say that 5 times in a row. So with the Colts, they have a line, they have a defense, they have weapons, and they have a running back. You should be in a way far better, positive scene outside of Philadelphia with the Colts. Okay, so look out for that. It could be a breakout QB that's going really, really late. Currently QB 26. Wentz's number 1 target. Now, Wentz's number 1 target, I'm going to say, is going to be Michael Pittman. T.Y. Hilton has been falling off year after year the past 3 years. Zach Pascal is not a number 1. Michael Pittman has the prospects to be. And he came on late last year, just being more productive. You saw him in the last playoff game against, I think it was the Chargers, or it was the Bills. It was against the Bills, that he finished with 5 receptions, 10 targets, and 90 yards. So something to look forward to into this season. Currently going wide receiver 46, going past 110 ADP as well. So that's an absolute steal. Now, like I said before, a strong ending to last season, and I think he'll emerge and become the breakout wide receiver with Carson Wentz under Frank Reich in this offense for the Indianapolis Colts. So I'm really, really excited for that as well. Next is going to be Jonathan Taylor, who started off very, very slow in the beginning of the season. Obviously, Marlon Mack had his injury in week 1, season-ending injury. That's why you see this 9 for 22. He had a little bit, he was decent in the beginning of the season, but that stretch of 5 weeks to end the season, obviously we have an easier schedule. You got the Jacksonville Jaguars, you got the Houston Texans, you got the Raiders, who was giving up a ton of yards, and then the Texans once again. So he took advantage of the schedule, he took advantage of the opportunity, and he was able to put together a very strong ending to the season. And this is what I'm looking forward to coming into this season. Obviously, Marlon Mack is back now. We're not sure how much work he's going to get or cut into Jonathan Taylor, but Taylor is guaranteed for most drives. They might switch it to give him a breather. He is guaranteed for that first and second down work. Nyheim Hines will get the third down work. So we understood that last season. They were able to split third down work last year in receptions. That's why you see just a few weeks of 4 and 2 and 3. He wasn't able to really fully break out like Nyheim Hines. Obviously, the quarterback they had loves throwing it, dumping it off Phillip Rivers, dumping it off to the running backs. This year is going to be with Carson Wentz. That shouldn't be a problem because Carson Wentz throws to the running back as well. He had Miles Sanders in Philadelphia. So I like Jonathan Taylor, currently going RB8. I'll take him right there. I don't know if I will bump him up above the elite guys, the super elite guys, but I like him there. So the breakouts for the Indianapolis Colts are going to be Carson Wentz possibly at QB 26. It's going to be Jonathan Taylor at RB8. And it's going to be Michael Pittman at wide receiver 46. Now, like I said before, all these guys are being bumped down because of these injuries, and you can take advantage of the cheaper prices. All right, let's move over to the Jacksonville Jaguars. This is the youth movement we got going on right here. We got Urban Meyer coming from Ohio State, being thrusted into this position, picking his quarterback in Trevor Lawrence. And this is really going to reinvigorate the Jags offense. You know, Jags were a horrible team last year. You really didn't want any of their offensive guys besides James Robinson. But with the influx of Lawrence as the QB, dual threat capabilities, this is a positive note for the wide receivers in Jacksonville. And currently with DJ Chark currently out on injury, I'm giving a full and total boost to Laviska Shenault, who's currently wide receiver 43, and Marvin Jones, who's currently wide receiver 54. These guys are getting totally forgotten about. Marvin Jones is getting totally forgotten about, but the hype on Shenault is justified. Is 100% justified. If we're looking at week 1 of the preseason, Jacksonville against the Cleveland Browns, and you got to pay attention to this. You got to see what these guys are doing with the first team, and that's how you can get an indicator of what's going to happen in week 1. So Trevor Lawrence came out, he fumbled in his first snap, then immediately in the first drive, pass to Shenault. Then he threw a short left pass to Marvin Jones. James Robinson happens to be the first running back to get a touch on the offense, get the second touch on the offense as a running back, and then Lawrence comes back and throws a pass to Carlos Hyde. Where's Travis Etienne? I'll get to that a little bit later, but Lawrence comes back to Shenault, and then Shenault again. So that's 4 targets in one drive. He was able to finish with a decent day. And he's going to get a huge PPR boost. He's the slot guy and wide receiver 3 sets. So I love Shenault where he's going currently right now at wide receiver 43. He gets the boost. We love him. I'm already down on Chark. He was getting some heat from him and Urban Meyer. Obviously, they went out in free agency and got Marvin Jones, and he stepped up as well in the first preseason game. Trevor Lawrence had a nice connection with him. I showed you right here. Trevor Lawrence to Marvin Jones for 10 yards, and then he has another pass play to Marvin Jones for 35 yards. So Marvin Jones is doing his thing. He finished top 20 wide receiver last year. It doesn't change. Wherever he goes, he's at least the number 2 wide receiver. So someone's going to have to take a hit. Either Shenault or Chark, and I think it's going to be Chark. That's why they paid Marvin Jones the big money, and he's going the last of all 3 of these wide receivers. That's absolutely insane. Marvin Jones had 3 receptions, 52 yards out of 4 targets. So you got to beware on your DJ Chark love, okay? Just beware. And next is temper your expectations on ETN. I just broke it down to you who was working with the first team offense. And I first said James Robinson. Then was it a third down? No, it was a first down. Then they bring out Carlos Hyde in the shotgun situation where you think Travis Etienne would be out there, and he doesn't even come out on the field. It's James Robinson. It's then Carlos Hyde. And we didn't see ETN until the second quarter. Was it the second quarter? Even worse. The third drive. We didn't even see, no, the second drive. So he came in for one run in the second drive, and that was pretty much it. And they went back to James Robinson. So where the hype and where ETN is going currently is a little bit too high because people are jumping up round 5, round 6, scooping him up like it's 100% guaranteed. James Robinson is still there. They got Carlos Hyde. They're doing a clear-cut running back by committee, and I want to warn people before they go fully all in on ETN. At least watch week 2 so you can get a better idea of what's going on. Maybe he gets acclimated with the playbook and gets more run time with the first team. But you got to be very, very vigilant, all right? Last but not least is going to be the Tennessee Titans. Unleash Tannehill, man. Unleash Tannehill. This is one of my most exciting teams on the offensive side. Their defense is absolute trash. But we're going to start with Tannehill. He could be a late round steal, man. Currently going as QB 10 right now, QB 11. People want to take some of the rookies over him. But this is an absolute boost with Julio Jones coming to the Tennessee Titans. That helps everyone across the board. All right. If you don't understand, with A.J. Brown on one side and Julio Jones on the other, you cannot put 8 men in the box to stop Derrick Henry. So there's 3 avenues of just destroying the defense. You can't put 8 in the box, and then you can't double team A.J. Brown or Julio Jones. So you're going to have one-on-one coverage there. They're going to have to play zone, and they're going to eat that up. Tannehill should have a field day. Derrick Henry, as long as he stays healthy, should have a field day. And I love the Tennessee Titans stack. I love the Tennessee Titans team. This is great. This is absolutely great. Plus the downgrade on defense. Their defense was like worse, bottom 5 in DVOA last year. It didn't get better. And now we have a situation where this could fully unlock the offense. We're seeing more snaps, possibly more shootouts with the Tennessee Titans. So we're going to be all in on Tennessee Titans offensive players, man. A.J. Brown, Julio Jones, and definitely Tannehill, who stepped up last year and really showed out. Let me just show you some of what he did last season, which I was very surprised that he even finished top 10 as the quarterback. Right below Russell Wilson was Ryan Tannehill, just 15 points behind, and he was putting up some solid fantasy performances last year. As you can see, let me just go to show more. A 28 DK game, a 37, a 27. It was like every other week he was going to a whole nother level. But I'm liking what I'm seeing. They should be able to throw the ball more, obviously. And if we're having one-on-one coverage with Julio Jones and A.J. Brown, that is an absolute problem for defenses. That is an absolute problem for them. So with the Tennessee Titans, another thing, Derrick Henry, I talked about him. Obviously, if anything was ever to go wrong, okay, he's been consistent the past 5 years. He increased his numbers the past 5 years. And he's been healthy the past 5 years. So maybe this could be the year. You never know. You never know. But if you ever took a handcuff that had guaranteed workhorse workload, would be Darrington Evans, going pretty much undrafted. Just beware. Maybe you want to throw him at the end of your draft. Just like, you know what? I need a dart throw. I need someone maybe week 2, week 3 that's going to be a pickup. Let me get him now in the draft and just hold. All right? Something could happen. I'm not saying it's guaranteed, but you never know. It's been 5 years. Like, this doesn't happen with any other running back. 5 years straight of healthy, no injuries. So I'm taking a shot in the dark, and I'll take someone that when he comes in is going to get all the work. All right? He's going to get the rushing. He's going to get the passing. And that's going to be Darrington Evans, all right? That is the breakdown for the AFC South that we have for today. Let me know how you guys feel. Do you agree with my analysis on some of these guys on these teams? Do you think, you know what, forget. I don't care what ETN did in week 1 preseason. I'm going all in on him anyway. There's a lot of debate to go around, and I'm here for that conversation. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe down below, all right? So we can get this, have a back and forth, talk about this, and maybe you might lean me in another direction where, you know what, all right, you are right. That's a good point. Let's bring up some facts. Let's bring up stats. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Yet again, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at MessageSD. And I'll be back with another video very soon. Peace out.